Hello, everybody. It's Thursday night. Um, tough technical difficulties, so we are now live on Instagram. Um, gonna try and get Martin on, but I also want to pay homage to Dr. Herdiah Green. Today's her birthday, and I saw somewhere where we can donate $10.42 because it's her birthday. So let's try and get that done throughout tonight. We are delayed due to technical difficulties, but let's get the party started, shall we? All right, there he is, Martin. That was a journey, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
that was. I think every great business or talk person has to kind of go through these now. That was our first one. I feel like we were just going in circles. So we came to Instagram, and we'll just have our talk here. So it's nice to see you. How's everything going? Besides all that, how's your Thursday going?
You know what? I didn't even correlate the two together. My day was hectic. Everything that should have gone right went wrong.
Okay.
So this just put the cherry on the top of whatever we decide to snack on. Asparagus, I guess, cherries and asparagus today. But yeah, everything that should have gone right went wrong today. And then I got over it, had a 15-minute nap, and then this happened. But it's okay because we will add this to the other platforms. Next month, we're going to go back to Patreon, and it'll be a different platform, and it will encompass Facebook, also YouTube. So if we can't do it there, they'll get it on YouTube, and I'm okay with that as long as we can get the word out.
Yeah, yeah.
How about your day?
Yeah, honestly, it wasn't too hectic, but I knew it was going to be a hectic day, so I kind of took a step back and let all that craziness kind of get in front of me. So I tried to avoid it, and then even here, I was like, "Oh no, I got caught in it." So it's just one of those days. It's the end of the week, and you just got to kind of go through things and then learn from it. Add a little patience on your shoulder, and then go on to the next task.
That's it. Just start breathing. That's what I did. I took a moment. I started breathing because while we're on the subject, what causes death in the U.S.? Stress. Stress will kill you.
Yeah, it's
So if you don't know
yeah.
how to, if we don't know how to decompress, that's also something that can cause an issue. But I'm taking it, pull it, as my dad says, just pull it by the horns and keep on going.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, I wanted to pay homage to Dr. Herdiah Green, whose birthday is today. When we get to the cancer, like I said, if everybody can go to orly.org and donate $10.42. They can do that by going to my website and click on the purple banner, or just simply text ORA 341 to CO at the top there, 71777, and just donate $10.42. I'm going to do it tonight, but now that I'm using my phone, I was going to do it on my laptop while we were live, but what I'm going to have to do is do it after we complete the live. $10.42. So I'll let you start. We'll start off with our topic. What are the leading causes of death in the U.S.? I'll let you start, and then we'll chime in. I'll chime in.
Yeah, obviously we wanted to just touch base on this for the whole goal of why we're trying to make healthy choices. And me, simply just because as you're getting older, you kind of have to think about that time, or it's coming towards the end. How am I going to try to prevent myself from getting more sick and more ill? And when I see that heart disease is the number one leading cause of death, I want to make sure that when I do go down, or when it does happen, I don't want to go down because of the number one reason. You know what I mean? It's like, let it be something else, and whatever, they found something in your cells, but don't let it be the number one reason why everyone's going down. I fall down the same way. It's like, come on, dude. It's like, be a little aware. Take a little accountability. If it's an accident or something they haven't seen before, or something growing on your cells that it's a new thing that's going around, I totally understand. But something where it's the number one reason why, and you're not doing anything to prevent it, there has to be some maturity and some accountability. So that's all we're trying to do. What's the bigger picture? Like we said, it's not to have that amazing six-pack or big thighs and big muscles and big biceps. The number one thing is we want to be healthy. And the number one reason why we're trying to do this is to prevent those type of causes being relative in our life as we get older, and from there. So like I said, these are in a particular order, but like I said, I just want to mention them, talk a little bit about them, because it seems like what Jewel and I think are common sense, majority of people are here and there thinking, oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I didn't know that one fact, or I didn't know that one stat. And it's just being aware. I think we grow up, and then from there, whatever we learned as a child, we just keep it back here. We're like, okay, our reality, our world is all back here. But things change, and we've got to be aware of what's going on around us, especially, the number one, and we'll just get into it right now, the number one leading cause of death in America is heart disease. And, there's so many different complexes of, what are leading, symptoms and this and that. Well, the three main causes of heart disease are high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and smoking. So if you want to go into a little more depth and just look up how to prevent high cholesterol, how to prevent high blood pressure, these are things that Jewel and I are talking on a weekly basis. But like I said, I want to touch base on them. I don't want to go into depth a little too much about them, but they are something where people can start thinking a little for themselves and say, you know what? There is a person that's smoking all the time next to me. Maybe I shouldn't sit next to them all the time while they're smoking and such. So whether it's secondhand smoke or firsthand smoking.
Smoke. Yeah, but let me tell you something. We also have to incorporate genetics, because there's people that smoke, and we have to be careful with that. Because I will have a cigarette now. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm not a chain smoker. But I do have my father, who had a heart infarction, a myocardial infarction, and he stopped smoking years ago. So not only that, we're dealing with pollution as well. So these are other factors that can go into the equation. Because, we don't want to ostracize people. We want to make sure we set an example. And we also want them to feel comfortable. If we ostracize them, then they may keep smoking. But if we encourage and support, they may reduce their smoking. And it's mind over matter, because if you're busy, you don't even think about smoking. It's when you're sitting and you need to stay busy. So it's also a bad habit. So, that is a bad thing, but so is, like I say, everybody has a vice.
Yeah.
So
it goes two ways. Where I think we were talking about it before, where someone who drinks pop, and they drink pop their whole life, and they're saying, oh, well, I didn't have any problems with my life. Well, you probably weren't eating processed meat. You probably weren't working a high stress job. You were probably eating, relatively well throughout the whole day. So when I bring these up, or when we talk about these causes, let's say someone is a smoker. Okay, smoke. I guarantee you, if you start changing the way you eat and you start changing what's around you, you're going to start to need to smoke less.
Right.
Does that make sense? So it's not like,
That's a fact. That's a
so
fact.
for me, and what I've always said is, before we eliminate, let's start substituting. So let's just start substituting the food. I'm not even talking about let's add physical activity. I'm not talking about let's take away the smoking. I'm just talking about that food that you're putting in your mouth. Let's just start substituting that. And then from there, let's take it week by week. And if you need to smoke, go smoke. I know you had a long meeting or whatever. It's just those people who are smoking after a meal, right? Because they're sitting around, they just had they stuffed themselves, and now they're having a smoke, they're having a drink. Those are not the combinations that are going to lead you down the right path. Does that make sense, Jewel? Listen, I'm not going to say there's nobody, even myself, I'm not perfect. I was like, you know what? We're having all this stuff going on with the tech stuff. I'm looking around like, man, do I have any candy? It's just making me edge. Like, do we have any candy? Do I have any? And I don't have any candy. I'm like, man, I need some candy.
I got peppermint.
Oh, boom. There you go. I was like, I need something to chew on, get me going. But I'm just saying, like, when I bring these up or when we're talking about these aren't, hey, don't do these 5. Just don't do 2 of them or 3 of them. You know what I mean? And then from there it'd be 4, and then from there it'd be 5. But there's no way you can eliminate smoking, start working out, start eating healthy, start listening to meditation. There's no way. And if it does happen, it'll happen for maybe 3 days. And then after that, like, I don't want to do this anymore. So I'm not going to sit here and say, hey, guys, this is the perfect lifestyle. I'm just saying, hey, guys, number 1 is heart disease. Let's start cutting away a little bit from it. So someone's going to say, well, Martin, I smoke 2 or 3 times a week. I'm like, that's fine. I'm going at the person who's drinking coffee once or twice a day, drinking pop once or twice a day. Let's start getting rid of that before we start getting rid of the smoking.
Let's talk about alcohol.
Oh,
because
God.
Alcohol, that's a whole other ball game.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, during these times that we've been trying to get past this unprecedented time, liquor stores were kept open because you have more people that had to have these vices, and they knew what would happen if they shut down the liquor stores, because that's where you can get your alcohol and your cigarettes. So those are vices.
Yeah.
But you're right. When you start eating healthy, it minimizes. And I think since let's say February 2020, when it started, I think I've probably had 3 bottles of wine in the last 3 years, because I've been eating healthy, because I've been making healthy choices. Listen, it's that serious. That's where we are right now. It's that serious to pay attention to eating healthy, because we're in a different time. But anywho, go ahead. What was we were going to talk about?
Yeah. So
do you have
so I was just going over some of the stats. So the number 1 was heart disease, and it's at just under 700,000 a year. So almost 2/3 of a million a year are having to deal with this issue and not finding a solution in time, right? And that's the problem. It's like, I had close family where a doctor was like, listen, you got to eat this, you got to eat this, you got to eat this, you got to eat this. And it's just like, that's too late. Why are we waiting all the way until the doctor tells us what to do to prevent? Once the doctor tells you, you have to be lucky that they catch it in time. Lucky that they catch it in time. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to fast track all of that, so you do it now, so you can prevent that talk of your doctor saying, hey, gotta eat more veggies, gotta eat more apples. Do it now, so then you can save it. Or when you do have that talk, you can save it. Instead of 80, it's at 85. Instead of 85, it's at 90. It's at 90, it's at 95. Prolong it. You want to prolong your life a vibrant,
Exactly.
energetic, you know, and a purposeful life. So, so yeah, 2/3 of a million each year from heart disease. And the second, just under it, and maybe going forward, we can talk about the mental health issues that have arisen over the past 3 years. I associate alcohol, tobacco use, drug use more with a mental health issue than a physical, you know, like I'm just sitting around. I think there's so much going on in here that people want to kind of relax and kind of find an answer to, that they just go into that vice. So we can definitely go into that a little more. But like I said, once you kind of change what you're putting in your mouth and what you're drinking, you'll kind of want or need those vices less. And I'm not saying, hey, don't go have your cigarette, don't go have your beer. I'm just saying, have it less. Have it less.
Yeah.
And then from there, it'll start formulating.
Yeah, like
So, yeah.
a social drink. They may drink, you know, once every other month, but everybody is different. So, yeah, I get that. We have social drinkers. But again, I think what's important is knowing your body, knowing your baseline, knowing your family history, because people are going to do what they want to do. And the thing about it is I'm not knocking it, but what I want to do is bring awareness and help them. Because like, even if you are a smoker, do you know the foods that you want to eat that is antioxidant so that you can cleanse your cells? You see what I mean?
Exactly.
Those are the things I'm more willing to share, because we all have vices, but do you know what you need to do to slow down the process? You know, do you know the foods to eat? The food is medicinal. So if people know how to help themselves, no matter what vice you have, like we both agree on, then you start to minimize and start making healthier choices. And then that helps with reducing your cravings, your desire, your there's a word I'm trying to
hormones.
find, but
You're just hormones. You're just less hormonal. You're less emotional. Your hormones are more relaxed. When you're eating all this processed food and drinking all this sugar, it just throws your hormones off, and you're bouncing all over the place. And then you need that drink, you need that smoke to relax what's going on in here. I'm not saying don't. It's Friday night, Saturday night. You just had a great weekend. You know, you got to see some family. Yeah, it's 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock evening. Have a smoke, but to just relax your mind and have a smoke, or oh my gosh, there's so much going on, I don't know what to do anymore. It's just like, well, you're of age, you know, that's what children are worried about. You know, what should I do here? What should I do here? But as an adult, you shouldn't have to drink an alcohol or smoke a cigarette. Okay, now I need an answer. It's like, hey, I'm rewarding myself by having this cigarette, having this smoke. I'm enjoying my mindset now, you know, stress-free, smoking, relaxing. That's a different smoke. But the person who's like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. Oh my gosh. That's totally different. That's just your hormones throwing
gotta get in alignment
all over the
gotta get in alignment. Not only that, learn to slow down the blood flow in your body. Learn to breathe. Learn to decompress. Because once you really zone in and learn to breathe, yeah, we all do certain things, but when you catch yourself and learn how to breathe, that also helps. So there's so many different ways to do this, and this is what I'm trying to convey to the people. You know, once you learn techniques and learn skills, it decreases. A lot of your people's bad habits will decrease, but they have to be mindful. Yeah.
Exactly. So, so I went into the heart disease as just under 700,000, and then just over 600,000. And people are saying within the next 5 to 6 years, this will probably be the leading cause of death, and this is cancer. And I know we have so many different ideas of it, but here are just the simple kind of to the obviously where it derives from. So The number one is obviously from tobacco. Tobacco, smoking or chewing is a leading cause. And then tanning, obviously, skin cancer. If you're outside for too long or don't have the protective, wear or cream or clothes, whatever you're doing for a task outside, and you're exposing yourself to ultraviolet light over a certain duration of time, that could lead to certain cancers as well. And then obviously your diet, eating processed meat, red meat is known as a carcinogen, and you want to kind of stay away from that as much as possible. Alcohol, and then alcohol. I know we spoke about this before, but maybe we can have another talk about alcohol and drugs a little more in depth. But like I said, these are just the causes of cancer. And the reason I want to bring up maybe 4 or 5 of these points from each leading cause of death is because you're going to start seeing that these are all, majority are health related. And if we can kind of take care of that health related issues, then, kind of going forward, it's natural ways of death, not always going down where, you're in a hospital suffering and you need vitamins shooting up your blood streams every, all day to kind of go through all that. We want to make sure we're preventing all that now. And trust me, right now it doesn't make sense here. Just one step at a time. What do I need to do? Instead of having, these bags of chips, can I have this bag of blueberries? Instead of going at these bags of, pounds of meat, maybe I can go have, maybe a burger. Maybe I'm going to have some vegetables to go along with it as well. So, like I said, the choice that you're taking, each day with you, and then, like I said, the life choices in terms of what you're putting in your body, eating or drinking, those are also important as well. So, as a third health, and this is kind of has some health related issues as well. And I know there are DNA and genes always involved, but another one is a stroke, and a stroke is primarily involved when you have a blocked artery, and those are caused when you have high blood pressure, or if you have high cholesterol, being obese. So if you just naturally had a bigger set of weight, that's typically not a good thing. And then most of those just lead also to diabetes. So if you're diabetic, this is something that doesn't help as well. And like I said, some of these majority of people, if they went to a doctor, they'd be diagnosed and said, listen, it's in the family. You probably have 30 or 40% chance, 50% chance. Okay. Now, the other way of looking at it is your body, changes. I think it's your skin changes every 7 to 10 days. I think your organs change every 6 to 7 weeks in terms of like the fibers in there, the tissues in there. So whatever you're eating, it just goes where it needs to be, and just gives you that nutrients that you need for your organs, most importantly, and then obviously for your bloodstream and for your blood to prevent all that those toxins and those bad kind of symptoms are arising in your blood. And once things start getting into your blood, into your arteries, that's when you really have to be cautious. But like I said, majority of these foods and new drinks that you're having won't hit you until it's too late, or it won't affect you until it's too late. Or you probably think it's a normal thing. I'm in my mid-30s, I'm losing my testosterone, losing my energy, that's a normal thing. I'm in my 40s, I can't move around with my grandkids, with my children, my back pain, my joints. These are not normal things. I was in Europe, for a handful of years, playing professional sport out there, and I saw elder people, women, men, going for walks, going for bike rides, 50s, 60s, feeling great. Like, could they do sprints and could they do pool workouts? No, but going to the bakery, going to the grocery, seeing family, enjoying conversations, and being able to be present, right? Because some people are like, oh yeah, we go hang out with family, but they're hanging out with family. Everyone's watching TV. They're all drinking beer. They're all smoking. So it's like, are you really enjoying your time, or is just everyone kind of having to do with what they have to do to make themselves feel okay? So, this is another one. Stroke is something where And like I said, pretty much with all of these, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, you're starting to see a theme here of what's going on. And then the next one is, it's a little different, but a chronic lower respiratory disease. So, you know, people having asthma problems, breathing problems. I know you just...
Yeah, so you would get the COPD, which is a respiratory problem from smoking. Okay, and then you're also dealing with people that have bronchial disorders, but people with asthma is different levels of asthma, and so those that get bronchitis all the time, what would help with that? Exercise, because a lot of people don't realize, they say, oh, I have bronchitis. You have to move and get those alveoli to move.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't realize that.
Yeah, no, that's another one. Not being as active. Now, some people are, you know, it could be, you know, it's in the family and this and that. I understand, but there has to be a minimum base of a foundation that you can get to, that you can feel good, where your mind is, you know, like you just said, the blood flow. You create blood flow in the mind, the body, and that's when things start flowing from there. And then lastly here, I have Alzheimer's, as it's around 150,000 a year. And this is estimated around 40% of dementia cases result from these major issues. So high blood pressure, smoking, diabetes, being obese, lack of physical activity, poor diet, high alcohol consumption, low levels of cognitive engagement. So we can sit here and literally be like, a doctor can tell you this, and he'd be like, wow, doc, wow, you're changing my life. Wow, thank you so much. I really need to take this on. Or you could just do what you just naturally as a kid wanted to do. Eat better, you know, stay active, be engaged with your community or your family or your friends, and just, you know, be alive. Be alive. I think we spoke on it before, where people hit a certain age and they're literally just, they're dead inside, but they're just alive, moving and this and that. And it's so unfortunate. So like I said, those are my kind of talks there. I didn't want to go too long into it, but I did want to brush up on, you know, leading causes of death. Most people think it's like, you know, gunshots, or people getting hit by cars, or accidental deaths, or, you know, COVID. It's not those guys. These are things that you can control. And if you're not, I'm sorry, but you deserve on what's coming to you. You know what I mean? There's no excuses, especially nowadays when you have a cell phone in your pocket filled with information on what you can eat, what you can't eat, what to drink, what not to drink. You just have to take accountability now. And you know, I'll be honest, I think a majority of people have been lied to. You know, majority of people have been taken advantage of. And majority of people just don't trust society anymore. They're like, well, you told me that before and it didn't help me. Well, you told that person that and look where they are now. You know what I mean? It's just like if someone was to say, oh, I've been doing nutrition, I'm a nutrition coach for the past 5 years. I'm saying, dude, it's not helping. It's not, well, the people that I'm helping it works with, it's not, because it's a ripple effect. You know, it's a ripple effect.
Right.
And if it's not rippling big enough or strong enough, then maybe the message isn't strong enough from the messenger. You know, I think we really have to put in the messenger with the message to say, hey, what's going on here, right? Because we're like, you know, and no offense, but you know, when I was playing soccer, my dad, you know, would take me to a youth team. He's like, and I'd go try out, and I met the players. I'm like, oh, Dad, these guys are fun, this and that. And my dad was like, no, you're not going to join this team. And I'm like, why? What's going on? He's like, look at the coach. He's got a big belly. How are you going to learn from a guy who's not going to move? And that stuck with my head. I'm like, he's right. How am I going to learn from a guy to tell me to control the ball like this, pass it like this, run like this, if he's not doing it? You know what I mean? So
yeah, gotta be in. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we practice what we preach. Jewel, I mean, I saw the last thing that you posted with the mushrooms and cooking, and then adding little food there, and then myself as well. So it's not like, hey, we're better than everybody else, but at least we practice what we preach. You know what I mean?
Amen.
Go and trust that guy. Go and trust that guy. But the people who listen to me get results. The people who listen to Jewel get results. And for me, and I know for Jewel, we're not dealing with a couple, 10 to 20 people. I've been dealing with hundreds and thousands of families for the past 10, 12, 13 years. You know what I mean? And Jewel's seen it on the medical side. I'm seeing it from like the outside, in the homes. She's seeing it from that side, and in the specs of she's telling me stats. She's telling me, hey, this is what's going on. Hey, this is what's really going on in the hospitals. This is really what's going on in the food. And I'm like, I saw the end result. I just didn't know where it's coming from. And she's seeing the full picture. So for me, it's just like, it's not enough. The people who are, gym gurus, nutrition guys, it's not enough. It's not enough. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying it's bad. But it's not enough. So all I want to do is be able to, transition and transcend this ripple effect. And we're going to keep coming on here every single week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. And Jewel, I wanted to actually text you earlier, but I thought I would do it this way. I'm actually looking to start. I don't know what morning, but every morning start like a movement morning. Wake up with Martin, with Hustle, Coach Martin. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, no weights. You could be in your pajamas, but it's just gonna get you feeling good. We're gonna wake up the back. We're gonna wake up the knees. We're gonna wake up the hips, and it's all stuff that you can do literally stationary within 2 or 3 yards. And in your socks or barefoot. I'm just trying to figure out what day exactly. But I'm just gonna go live and just show them some exercise, some different movements, some different holds, some different stretches. And trust me, I've done yoga, but even yoga, I needed to like do a little warm up, and then I was ready to like do those holds. I can't just jump right into it.
See, and that's my thing. I do yoga nidra for weight management. So I'm actually going to start doing yoga nidra asanas and putting them on YouTube. But maybe I'll save some for your event, and I'll help people to learn how to breathe, how to stretch, even if they're on their couch or when they wake up.
Yeah.
And they don't have to get out of bed. They can learn how, like you say, learn how to stretch, learn how to do something in the morning. And a lot of people go and work out at night, but the best time to work out is in the daytime. So we can talk about that. But yeah, that'll be great. Now, let me ask you something. Did you want me to break it down? Like, you gave some topics, but I wanted to give a little bit of stats.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't believe in statistics, because my question is, where are they getting the information from? So even in school, you got to learn it, but I don't believe in statistics. But what I can correlate and resonate with is, you mentioned heart disease. So here's what I have in 1.29 million deaths is from cancer.
Wow.
That's like really crazy. Now, in the medical industry, what happens? They break it down. They break it down in so many different ways, like men versus women, African American men versus women, and versus different races, different ethnicities. So here's the thing. The number one person, in cancer, we're talking about cancer, it's men. 227.3 out of 100,000 are black males.
Wow.
Now the Asians, and they also categorize race, sex, ethnicity. But guess what? Ethnicity is very low with cancer, and that's Asian. The Asian women, Asian men have the lowest number of cancer. So they also do their stats by country. So they know the country with the lowest cancer rate is also in Dubai. So
interesting.
This is where they're getting their numbers, but I digress, because it depends on who and where Who's collecting the data? You see, same thing with Alzheimer's, same thing with cancer. The African American or people of color, but then Hispanics have the lowest breast cancer rate. Same thing they said with lupus. Now all of a sudden, lupus is running rampant in the Hispanic population.
Oh.
So see, these numbers and stuff, like I said, kind of like what you said, the bottom line is, what can I say about diabetes and all these different top diseases is the risk factor. Just like you said, you know, smoking, radiation, alcohol, and all of these things are the same risk factor in every top disease or diagnosis. So, like you said, we have a different way of approaching this thing. We have to get people to be more aware, like you say, be more present and understand what they need to do. Here's the kicker. What do people really need to do to reduce or slow down cancer cells, heart issues, diabetes, hypertension, Alzheimer's? Now, that's another thing. Studies are showing for Alzheimer's, the one particular gene, they thought it was because they didn't have enough of. Now they're finding out that's not the case. You know, what causes memory loss. So now they're starting to, it's crazy. I wrote something down about that, the G6PD variant. There's a new study talking about that variant, and it's opposite of what they thought. So, we've got a lot of work here, and the thing about it is, between me and you, we can get people to eat healthier and slow down the process of disease, just period. You know, so you and I, that's our mission. That's what we're doing. We want to slow down disease, because why? It's you can go to the doctor all day long, but are they implementing what you need to do? They can give you a piece of paper. They can tell you what you need to do, but who's really showing you and who's really supporting you while you do that?
Exactly.
That's the question. You see? Exactly. That's why we have come together. For whatever reason, we both understand what we need to do to slow down disease and diagnosis, because I don't care who you go to, they're going to give you a piece of paper, they're going to tell you what you need to do, but who's really showing you how to reduce the cancer cells, how to slow down the cancer cells, how to add antioxidants into your food, to, even if it's, like you say, every other day. That's what we're here for. That's what we're supposed to help people with. And that's my whole mission, is to get people to understand the food you eat is your medicine, the teas you drink is your medicine, and how to slow down. And because at the end of the day, people love you, but get sick and see who's going to come and take care of them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The thing is, we want to stay ahead of it. We don't want the doctor to start, hey, you got to take these 4 pills. Hey, you got to take these 3 pills daily. Hey, you got to take these 2 pills daily. We want to prevent all that. The pills and all that. And like Jewel always says, medicinal. The food is your medicine. And we want to start that now. And if majority of people don't feel good, hey, let's start making a change. If you don't feel good, start making a change. And just by going
Right.
by the stats and what's going on, the majority of people need this. You know what I mean? So, like I
Right.
said, there are
Right.
challenges in the day. Jewel faced them. I faced them. But I'm not, gonna chain smoke or oh, I need a drink or have a beer or, it's like whatever. Deal with it.
Right.
Go ahead. And then, like I said, when you do want to have those moments, it's because of a reward, not to, oh, I need to figure life out now. So there's a different
Right.
perspective on you doing that. So yeah, I think we should tap into a little more in the health and the mental health area, and deriving in terms of kind of what this does once you start eating right, once you start drinking right, and putting the right things in your body. The number one thing that you said, stress. Your stress levels will go down. You can start,
Yeah.
thinking rational. You can start thinking logical. And I'm not saying you're going to make the best decisions, but at least you'll have a good time to make decisions and not make rash decisions, not make quick decisions, not make a decision and second guess it or hesitate on it. And like I said, there's people playing mini wars in their head, and we want to kind of eliminate that because there's a bigger the world is so much more of a challenge. You got to be ready for that instead of worrying about what's going on in here. You got to get this right, and then you're ready to take on the challenge of the world. The world's always going to seem hard, because you can't get this right. Once you get this right, you deal with that, deal with that, deal with that, and you go from there. So, yeah, I'm
Right.
excited, but I think we should maybe next Tuesday or next Thursday break it down a little more into some mental health issues.
Yeah.
And for
That'll
me,
be good.
yeah, I think for me, we spoke about it last time in terms of the emotional eating. People like to do the emotional eating. Maybe we can go into the drinking, the smoking, whether it's cigarettes, whether it's marijuana, or even simple stuff of, coffee. I know a lot of people use coffee as their thing. Listen, if you want to drink coffee, drink your coffee and do what you got to do. If you want to try to eliminate that, eliminate that. But there's no way in a rational world anyone is drinking coffee after 3 p.m. I mean, even the president of the United States or even people who are high business owners are not in need of a drink that late, whether it's coffee or an energy drink. Sorry, or it's an energy drink. So those stimulants we want to kind of prevent. So maybe we can talk about the
Right.
mental health. I mean, I know besides the physical rates and stats have gone up, but I mean, we're talking about the people who are still alive that are sick
Yeah.
mentally,
Yeah.
physically. It's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling, and I bet the percentages are just going up each month. So yeah, I would like to talk about
Yeah.
that. I thought today's talk was a relatively good one, just to kind of brush people up on, hey, this is the big picture, and then let's bring it back. So we showed you kind of what
Yeah.
we're doing right
Yeah.
now, and then we kind of showed you what's at the end of the tunnel and what we're trying to prevent, and then hey, let's bring it back to the beginning and let's get present again. So I enjoyed it. So
Yeah. 'Cause I did too, and that's what I want to say too. Just in closing, people are telling me all the time, "Oh, I'm making healthy choices. I'm this, I'm that," but do they really know what they're doing? Do they really know what foods go with what foods? You see, people are making healthy choices. That's good, but what results are you
yeah,
getting? What is it really doing
exactly.
for your body? What is it doing to your body? Are you able to get a clear picture? Are you able to become more energized? Are you able to get work done? Like, what does that look like for
Yeah,
people
yeah.
actually? So that's what I'm saying. That's what we also can tap in on,
Mm.
because a lot of people are going through the motions, but are they understanding?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
that's that's a whole nother ball
Yeah,
game,
yeah,
but
you're
that's
right.
something I want to tap into.
Mm.
Not just go through the motions, but understand what you're doing, what you're eating, what it's affecting, how it's helping you. How are you getting into alignment? How do you put all of this
Mm.
together to be in total alignment?
Yeah,
That's what I want to tap into.
yeah, yeah. I
So
like that.
yeah,
I like that. Yeah. So
well, there's
sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, do you see anybody that has a question or want to ask a question before we vacate the premises?
Yeah, I don't see any here. Probably some now will probably pop up. We'll answer them. But yeah, it was kind of a little weird with the technical stuff. I never experienced that. You're pretty smooth with, getting on Facebook, and we never had that issue before. I think it's maybe that
Yeah,
update that they just had. Maybe it's throwing a couple of the specs off. So we'll work on that. But like I said, we'll still
yeah,
get our message out there, and we'll repost it on the different platforms, and go
yes.
from there. So I'm just seeing. Let's
And
see.
I'll download this and add it. I'll do a little snippet, and then because we'll just put something on there and let them know. But like I said, I'm even thinking next week. You know what? I don't know how much time you have, but I'm thinking about setting up our StreamYard, and maybe we can, so that we'll be ready for Tuesday. Well, Tuesday we'll be back here on Instagram.
Yeah.
So Thursday we'll be on a different platform, and we'll be able to go live on Facebook and YouTube.
Yeah.
So either way it goes, they can catch us
We'll
then.
figure it
So go ahead and give them your social platforms, Martin. Let them know where they can find you.
Yeah, I just actually uploaded today a new YouTube video on my Hustlers Headquarters on YouTube. It's a sleep meditation for deep sleep. I have videos, some meditation videos are on there for about 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes. I had some people message me and say, hey, can you do something for over an hour? Because it takes me about 45 minutes, 30 minutes to get in the zone, and then I want to kind of fade away. So I'm like, yeah, definitely. So I just premiered a video a couple hours ago. It's about an hour and a half long, just geared towards deep sleep, to kind of help individuals from there. And the visuals, I know people mentioned about the visuals as well. The visuals are abstract visuals, so kind of to help you with your mindset, to kind of relax, bring the heart rate down, help you with your breathing as well. So I know some people just don't like to look at a wall. They want to look at something as well and kind of get their eyes going, engage with their mind. So I put that in there as well. So the video is up as the video just got premiered a couple hours ago, like I said, on YouTube. So it's YouTube, Hustlers Headquarters. On Instagram, it's Hustlers HQ. On TikTok, Hustlers HQ. On TikTok and Instagram, it's just small snippets of just motivational quotes to help individuals with their day. Something pops up, a reel pops up, or a post pops up, 10-second, 15-second little motivational quote wherever you are, and then get you going from there. And then lastly, what else do I have? Yeah, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and then Twitter, just on any news, stuff like this that I'm always posting on Hustlers Headquarters. And you guys can stay involved and go from there. And like I said, the last thing is I'm going to pick a day where it's a morning we can jump into and do something where it's and once we start doing it, majority of people were like, oh, that's not bad. Oh, that was easy. I didn't think it was, but it will start helping you get to where you want to go. And then from there, like I said, it'd probably be early morning, maybe like 5 a.m. Pacific time, 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, 6 a.m. Mountain time. That way, no excuses. It's not just early in the morning for Pacific time. 8 a.m. Eastern time is relatively easy to kind of get to. Usually works is at 9 or 10. We'll probably be on for about 15 or 20 minutes to kind of get you going, build up a nice little sweat, make sure the whole body's kind of loosened up and ready to go. And then from there, if you want to do your own workout, if you got to do a walk, run some errands, you'll be ready to go. But to kind of give you that morning boost and that morning jump from there. So everything is correlated, but you're not going to have to do anything on your back to do a sit-up. Like I said, all the ab workouts that I do, I never do them with my back on my back. So like I said, simple stuff like standing still, putting one leg up, balancing for 15 seconds, switching other leg, balancing. So a lot of balancing, stability, and mobility will be prepped up. So you don't have to be an athlete, even if you're just first time working out or first time getting out of bed and being active. This is for you as well, trust me. So it's something that I do on a daily. It's not like a workout. It's just I have to do them to kind of get going, and then brush my teeth, clean up, and then go from there. So yeah, I'll let everyone know.
Sometimes I'm just going to bed at 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock. But if I'm up, I'm going to join you because I do stretch, and I do lift just 10 pounds, and then, you know, I'm squats and planks. And see, when I was training and getting in shape for the pageant back, you know, a few years back, I literally trained with the military men. So I still can keep it up. I can keep up with the best.
There you go.
Yeah, but it was fun. It was fun. So yeah, we'll have to share that information. When you get your flyer, I'll share it, and somebody's going to be up. And you know, people are needing to learn how to stretch.
Yeah.
And like I say, we just keep going. That's all I say. Let's just keep going and answer questions and help people to be their best self. Yeah. That's what it's all about.
I agree.
Well, thanks a lot. I'm going to sign off now, and then we'll go from there and see what's next. But we'll see everybody back here on Instagram Tuesday at 12 Pacific time, 1 p.m. Mountain time. And just look at the flyer, people. How do you like the flyer?
Beautiful. Beautiful. Personalized and beautiful.
Good. Well, that's great. Well, we'll talk soon. Thanks again, and I'll get this one out. Just due to technical difficulties, we'll get it out, and I'll put it on the different platforms as well, okay?
Sounds good. Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining, guys.
Right. Yep. Peace and blessings.
Have a good one, Jewel. Take care.
Thank you. You too.